Good day from Wall Street. This is Nick Casella, Senior Analyst with the Wall Street Ledger. I'm pleased to have on the show with us from Thor Mining. His name is Mick Billing. He's the Chairman and CEO. Thor Mining trades on the AIM markets under the ticker THR, as well on the Australian Stock Exchange and ticker THR as well. Mick, thank you for joining us here at the Wall Street Ledger.
Hi, Nick. Nice to talk to you, and greetings from Australia.
Yeah, great to have you here on the show. Let's get right into it. Very exciting opportunities and projects that you guys have. Tell our listeners about the projects and operations currently at Thor.
Yeah, sure. I guess for a small company, we've got a pretty diverse portfolio, and that comes with issues, but it also comes with lots of excitement. I guess what we would call our flagship project is our investment in the copper business here in South Australia, where I'm lucky enough to live. Just north of Adelaide, about an hour or so north, is the Kapunda Copper Project. Now, where we are planning to restart what was an old, very high-grade mine with a low-grade halo left behind. We're going to go back to that project and produce copper using in situ leaching technology. Now, that technology is not the norm for copper. It happens with uranium and potash all the time, and has happened for years. It's happening in the US, in Arizona. A couple of outfits are getting ready to produce copper with in situ leaching. It is a little different, but it is very cheap and very profitable. The interesting thing at Kapunda, this particular project, is that about a third of the historical drilling was also assayed for gold, and most of those holes had gold in them. And the product that we're using to dissolve the copper will also dissolve the gold. We've demonstrated that quite successfully on a number of occasions. So as we produce copper, we'll also be dissolving in the ground and bringing to surface some gold for no additional cost. Now, we don't have resources estimates for the gold at this stage. There's more drilling to happen, but that's a pretty exciting improvement in the outlook for that particular project. So that's our copper and copper gold business. We also have an early stage gold project in the Pilbara region of Western Australia that we call Ragged Range. It's very early stage. We've done some sampling. We're doing some geophysics, and we're planning to drill that sometime just before Christmas this year, or perhaps just after, depending on how long it takes to get that geophysics here interpreted. We also, sticking in Australia for a start, we also have a ready for development tungsten project in the Northern Territory, a project we call Molly Hill. We've got the full suite of work done on this project. It has all the approvals to mine and develop and mine this project. It has a full feasibility study done, and we now need to raise $43 million to bring this project into production. Tungsten's not one of the commodities that people think of when they go out and look for exploration success, but it is a niche commodity. It's also a critical mineral, classified as such by the US Department of the Interior, and most of the world's tungsten comes out of China. That comes with its own issues, and there is an appetite now around the globe for tungsten sourced from places other than China. Well, we've got one of those projects right here in Australia. We also have a tungsten project in the US, in a place we call Pilot Mountain in Nevada, about 2.5 hours south of Reno on the road towards Vegas. That's a little earlier stage than Molly Hill. It is much larger project resource-wise. In fact, it is the largest compliant 43101 or JORC tungsten resource in the USA, a country which has quite high demand for tungsten for obvious reasons. It's the hardest metal there is, and its uses cannot be replaced by other metals. But the USA has zero tungsten production. that project at some stage will, we believe, have significant value. But it is several years from being developed. Finally, we have recently acquired a uranium and vanadium project in around the bottom eastern corner of Utah and the bottom western corner of Colorado, quite close to one another but across state boundaries. This is early stage for us, but it is an area where quite a lot of high-grade uranium has been produced in the 50s, 60s, 70s and 80s of last century. This is exciting, early for us, but we hope to be drilling that, perhaps February, March next year.
Most recently, there was an announcement about raising some capital at Thor. Where will those dollars, I guess those Australian dollars, be used for? Are they going to be put back into the project or just the company as a whole?
Nicholas, we are going to spend most of that money on our Ragged Range gold project in the Pilbara. There are the 3 projects that are going to get this the attention from this money, and it's about £1 million UK. Ragged Range is probably going to get 50% of that, but we're also going to spend some money on our Kapunda copper project. A lot of the work being done at Kapunda is being funded by the Australian government by a research grant, but which is very good for our shareholders, obviously. But we need to continue to put small amounts in, and we'll also be spending money on drilling these uranium and vanadium projects in the US.
Will the company look to joint ventures moving forward?
Of course. If we want to advance some of these projects, quite often the best way to do that is via joint venture. It's a way of mitigating the risk. It's a way of bringing in capital from a source that does not rely on going out and continually tapping your shareholders and saying, can you put some more in? A joint venture is a good way to move a project forward, and we'd be very happy to have those discussions.
Talk a little about this board and management team, as well as the new appointment of the exploration manager.
Yeah, sure. I guess we've got a group of people who've been in this business for some time. I've been in the industry. I'm an accountant by background, but I've been working in the mining industry since about 1974. We have with us a geologist, Mark McGough, who's in his mid-60s now, I guess, who's enormously well-credentialed geologist. He's worked with some big guys and some small, but and while he's relatively new to the team, what he has brought to the table has been a refreshingly good approach to some of the stuff we've done, and he's brought some extraordinarily good science as well. Out of the UK, from our major shareholder, Metal Tiger, we have a guy called Mark Potter. Mark's an engineer, but he spent most of his time in finance. And we also have an executive director, Richard Brady, a geologist, who is also he's our exploration manager as well. Now, Richard's leaving us, and he's being replaced by Nicole Galloway-Warland, who actually started with us yesterday, on the 1st of October. Nicole's a very well qualified and well credentialed geologist. She's worked in Australia, she's worked in Eastern Europe, she's worked in South America, she's worked in gold, she's worked in copper, and she's worked in uranium. These are the projects that we're trying to advance right now. So she's got a great background for what we're trying to do.
All right, well put together team at hand. To that end, what do you feel really sets the company apart from the other ASX and AIM mining stocks?
I guess there's several things, Nicholas. And if you look at them individually, we have a promising early stage gold project in a region which is becoming known as an emerging gold province. That's pretty good, but it doesn't make us stand out from a bunch of other early explorers. We have a tungsten project, which is ready for finance and development, a critical minerals project. That's pretty good too. But that doesn't make us stand out from a bunch of other potential developers. We've got uranium and vanadium projects where there's been high-grade production in the past. That's not bad, but yeah, there's others doing that as well. We've got a copper project that with pretty exciting gold upside that could be in development in a couple of years, and most of the funding for that going forward is from covered by a government grant. That makes us stand out a little bit. We're covered for we've got the finances in hand in the bank right now to fund the things we need to do to advance these projects for the next little while, and that's a very good position to be in. You put all these things together, for one small company with a market cap of about 18 million US, I reckon that makes us stand out quite a bit.
I agree. Where do you see the company positioned in about, let's say, a 2 to 3 year period?
Nick, I think we will have copper production and revenue generation happening at Kapunda in South Australia. I suspect we'll also have tungsten production and revenue generation out of Molly Hill in the Northern Territory of Australia in that same time period. That's quite doable. We also hope we will have advanced a couple of these early stage projects, the uranium in the US and the gold in the Pilbara in Western Australia, to the stage where we have resources and are charging towards development there. So we'll be a small mining house, but a small mining house that will be making money.
So then in conclusion, then why should investors consider the company as a good long-term investment opportunity?
I think, Nick, if you look at a number of the junior explorers around the place, they're all chasing 1 million ounces, and they've all got and they all hope they will find a big gold project and get there. We have those early stage exploration, but we also have assets right now that have resources. Resources have value, and resources can be turned into money, and either by selling them or by bringing them into production. So we have both the excitement of the exploration upside and the solid foundation that comes with assets that have resources and have feasibility studies completed.
All right, so it sounds like the company's positioned very well at the moment. Mick, thank you for joining us here at the Wall Street Ledger.
Nick, thank you very much for the opportunity, and I appreciate the opportunity to talk to you.
Our featured guest has been Mick Billing. He's the chairman and CEO at Thor Mining. Thor Mining currently traded shares on the AIM markets on the ticker THR, as well on the Australian Stock Exchange on the ticker THR. Thank you for joining us here.